Alright, a DIY video today. I decided to show you a tool that you can make on your lathe because it's a wood turning video and I refer to people that have a lathe. I hope you have a lathe. So this mounting plate is very difficult to find the center, and that's why I'm gonna make this tool. It helped me a lot. I'm faster and more accurate when I'm finding the center, and I don't worry anymore. And that's why I decided to show this invention to you. So this is the materials and tools that we're gonna need in order to make our tool. And first and most important is the mounting plate. And everything's gonna go according to width and depth of this hole. We're gonna go with a beech wood. I'm gonna go with a beech wood. You can choose whatever wood you like, just to be sure that the thickness it's the same or bigger than the outer ring of your mounting plate. The length for now doesn't matter. Then a choke, a standard choke with the smallest teeth that you own. I choose a 16mm drill bit, but the size, it depends on how big the hole is of your mounting plate. I use 16, you can use 15, 14, 18, depends on you. Then a stainless steel nail, mine it's 3 or 4mm, somewhere there. Same size drill bit with the nail, something to measure. When with calipers, a pencil. Always I use a pencil. And something to finish it. I am gonna use olive oil and wax in the end. So let's start. I apologize because I forgetting things. I also gonna use a grinder to cut the stainless steel nail, because with a hacksaw it's gonna be very difficult, maybe impossible. A file to refine the nail. A glue, very strong glue to glue the nail. And this is something for me, I don't know who else is gonna have this problem. My choke doesn't take that small size drill bit, so I'm gonna push it to make the hole with my hand. And a bench saw to cut the wood. Alright, I first started by finding the depth of my hole, which was 2.7 centimeters, and I transferred the measurement to the piece of beech wood. And I added another 2 centimeters that will be the grip. Total 4.7. And I cut it. Then I cut the second piece to be triple in length size from the first one. After I had the 2 pieces cut, I found the center to the one side of every piece and pinch and guide hole. Now on lathe, I went with the small piece first, and as you can see I used the tailstock with the guide hole to grab the piece as straight as possible and then tighten the piece in place. Then I removed the tailstock as I didn't need it anymore at the moment. That line there is the depth, so with a pointed knife I marked the spot. And after I had my boundaries, I started making a cylinder the same width as the hole. You have to make sure that it's really tight fit. As you can see, I somehow screw in the plate. And now the only thing left to do with the knife is to make it a little more rounded in the edge, so it can slide more easily to the hole. And the rest a little bit with the sandpaper so it can slide effortless. You have to make sure that the cylinder doesn't exceed the other side of the plate. Mine was, so I removed the excess and I marked the center to be ready for the drill bit. So with a 16mm drill bit I drill a hole from the one side to the other. Careful to not go further and damage your choke. Then a little bit of last touches and I was ready to flip the piece to the other side. The other side now is the grip and the stopper, so it has to be wider and easy to push. And for that reason I made a smaller rest for the finger. And not to be plain, I added 2 lines that later I bent them with a piece of wire. The small extra ring that I added, it's optional, is for better closing with the second piece, but I think it's extra time and effort without adding something new, so it's up to you. I finished completely that side because I will not revisit it again, so I added a little bit of oil in the end, and that's the first piece of the tool. Now for the second and last piece. I use the same way of mounting as the first piece, and with that I measured the distance of one whole first piece plus another one cylinder. Put a mark there, and at the end another mark that determines the whole length of the second piece. Again, with the pointed knife, I refined the first mark and started making a smaller cylinder that will fit very tightly to the hole of the first piece. It's important to be friction with the two pieces, so on lathe they will turn in together in order to make them align at the same center. I made the counterpart of the optional extender ring so everything fit nice, and tested if the friction is working. After I was happy with the result, I moved on to make the hole for the nail with the corresponding drill bit. Here something went wrong and I didn't film the cutting of the nail head with the grinder. I just grabbed it in a vise like this and cut it. Then I added some glue to the nail, and from the side where was the head I put it into the hole. I removed the center from my tailstock, and with a piece of metal I applied some pressure and let it to dry. If you're thinking super glue, it's gonna work fine, but again the step of the pressure is important so they somehow stuck together. Next step, after the glue dry, I had to make the point of the nail be in center, so with my grinder, a file and some papers I make sure of that. I also curved the edge of the cylinder to match the point of the nail. And now the final part. I started to make the grip of this piece. I made it the same width as the first one, also the burner line touch. I started to indicate the final cut, and then I sanded the two pieces so they are aligned together into one center, and also finish the piece. After that it was okay to smooth the small cylinder and generally the whole piece. Some olive oil and wax for finish. With a hacksaw, my preference of choice, I cut the piece out. Optional, I flip the piece and finish the backside with the price of having bite marks to the end result. That's me. Well, that's the video. I hope you find it helpful, the video and the tool. If you did, please push the like button. It would mean a lot to me. If you don't, it's fine. Thanks for staying until the end. Until next time. Bye bye.